Alright, this is the picture of end of turn 3. I forgot to take the picture at the end of his turn. So we'll go over what happened one at a time. Demigryph Knights charged the flank of my beautiful warriors of Tzeentch. I failed my stubborn test, or steadfast test, and he ran him down, ran into the flank of the Marauders. The Marauders held, passing their their steadfast test, and turned to face him. So that was good. His greatsword, seeing that I was engaged by the Demigryphs, moved into the building, and right now they're inside that building. And then on the left, my ogres successfully charged into his swordsman. My sorcerer lord on a mana core charged into his swordsman as well. However, dangerous terrain test on the mana core due to charging into woods. Of course, he took the last wound he had, so now my sorcerer lord is sitting on foot in the flank, where his detachment charged him for free in my turn. So, not the greatest of situations. And after 3 turns of fighting with the Luminarch, it's still in combat with my Warriors of Tzeentch. I think I've got 2 or 3 wounds on it at this point, but it's holding, which is more than it should have done. And then you can see that the Knights and the Steam Tank are still just slugging it out, not doing anything to each other, really. I've lost an extra 2 Knights, and I think he's down to like 6 wounds left on his Steam Tank. Alright, that was the end of turn 3, on to top of turn 4. Alright, top of Empire turn 4. Demigryphs doing a lot of damage to the not armored Marauders. But they combined with a lot of attacks to kill a few. I still lost combat, but made my stubborn test, or steadfast test, on 7, so they stuck around. His greatswords came out of the building facing, so they could charge either the ogres or the Marauders, or even my fleeing sorcerer lord. I'm using him as a sorcerer lord in there in the middle. He ran like 11 inches, and so but the ogres, of course, passed they had a leadership test on a 6 and passed it, but sorcerer lord couldn't do it. The ogres have been killing a lot of guys. He's got Blessing of Light or Speed of Light, or give him double attacks. So on in the bubble, you usually cast everything in the bubble, so everything gets an extra attack over there. Lost a few ogres, but the ogres are still killing a lot of guys, so they're pretty good. Still can't kill off that Luminarch. That's driving me nuts. And it killed one of my Chaos Warriors. And the Steam Tank just sits there. We'll just ignore that. Yeah, so that was the end of Empire turn 4. So this is where it's finally starting to go right for the Chaos. Chaos turn 4. Yeah, he got a little excited turning to turn 5 a little early. My Sorcerer Lord rallied, yay, and then cast Harmonic Convergence in the bubble. So it's a 12-inch burst of, I get to reroll 1s, which hit every unit except for the Knights. And I even irresistibly force cast it, and did not take a wound from the miscast, so it was pretty good. My Marauders are slowly taking down the Demigryphs, and my ogres won combat. He was stubborn on a 9, and his halberdiers failed and ran, but the swordsman stuck in there. I finally, with my Warriors of Tzeentch, kill off the Luminarch, since it wouldn't break and run anyways, and then turn to face the combats in the middle. So it was an excellent turn of events for Chaos in turn 4. Alright, Empire turn 5. I forgot to mention that with the ogre combat, over the turns I had put a lot of attacks on his his wizard lord and his battle system bearer to kill him, so the characters are gone from the swordsman unit. but his great swords charged my Sorcerer Lord. I held because I'd rather lose the Sorcerer Lord than him getting into the flank of either of my other units, and turning a whole bunch of combats around. The Marauders actually killed off the Demigryph, the last Demigryph, so they reformed 5 wide to face the back of the Greatswords rather than on the flank, but I'll take what I can get. He moved his Archlector back out of the charge arc of my warriors on the left. His Halberdiers rallied, and that was pretty much it. Yeah, for magic he's just down to his warrior priest, so I think I dispelled everything that his warrior priest tried to do, which wouldn't affect anything because he's not in combat. Alright, on to Chaos turn 5. Alright, this is where we called the game. The wonderful Warriors of Tzeentch charged the flank of his... Did I charge the flank? No, I charged his Halberdiers with my warriors. Killed him, ran him down. The Ogres did a lot of wounds to his swordsmen. They failed their Leadership 9 test and were ran down by the Ogres. So the Ogres then overran into his crossbowmen. The Knights and the Steam Tank just sit there all game, like I said. And the Marauders charge into the rear of his stubborn greatswords. I think I won combat, not by a lot. It was just all due to the rear and the charge and all that. And I got more attacks than he did. But they held, so it's all good. So that's where the game ended. A marginal victory to the Chaos, like by 300 points. So all in all, it was a hard-fought fight with several mistakes on my side. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope the audio quality is a lot better, and I'll be having more videos soon. Thank you.